What's going on? What's going on? Hold on, let me get on camera here. There we go. What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Welcome back to the Real with Joseph Latman. I am Joseph Latman. Appreciate you guys for tuning back in today. Uh, just a quick little podcast today, guys. Just a little quick show. I'm gonna share another video from the anxiety guy on a topic that's been kind of I've been going through my own life, and so I'm gonna share that today, and then I'm gonna close it out again. I got another Tony Evans video on the way out for you guys. I think you guys will like. Uh, so yeah, but like I said, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm excited for tonight. Got Game Three of the NBA Finals. So tied 1-1. Um, I think it's gonna be a great series. Like I said, I think it's gonna go 6, 7 games. After the first two games, I like Boston, but I feel like Boston. I thought the other night kind of threw the game away. They went completely away from what worked in Game One. Al Horford had a great game, dominated inside the paint. I mean, they just completely they were. I mean, Boston's a much bigger team than Golden State, and they just Game Two they just settled for a bunch of jumpers. They just turn the ball over too much, and so when they do that, Boston they usually a lot of their games in the playoffs. That's when they lose. Turn the ball over at a high rate, but then they start settling for the threes. I think Boston need to get the ball back inside to Al Horford, work out of the post, work from inside out. Don't try to beat Golden State at what they do best, which is from the outside in. They can do that because they have the best shooters of all time on their team, and Steph and Clay, and they got Jordan Poole, and I mean, when you got Steph Curry, you can play like that. But they got killed in the paint, so I think Boston needs to get back to what worked in Game One. Play their style, control the glass, control the paint, and just slow the game down. You're at home now. The crowd's going to be electric like always in the Garden. So, but I'm excited though. I can't wait to see tonight's game. I don't know what to expect to be honest, because uh, we saw two different teams in both games. So, uh, I would say it's going to be probably another close one, and I don't know. I'll take Boston. I don't know why. I'll just take Boston at home. I think because the crowd's gonna be electric, and then we'll see what happens in Game Four. That's probably gonna be the deciding game. Usually is for most series, and so uh, we'll see what happens, man. But I'm excited. But today, get to the video now. You know, guys, I've been talking a lot on this show about just my own journey with anxiety and just kind of what I've been going through, but also what I've been through and sharing all the knowledge I know. And guys, recently I've been kind of going, like I said, I've said many times, I still go through my own journey as well. I'm not, it's not like I wake up every day and I'm just no anxiety and everything's just scratch free. But which it's not. Nobody ever really is. That's just part of life. There's ups and there's downs, and so you know, the biggest thing I've been going through lately, guys, is uh, I guess they call it the disconnect. And what that means is I'm disconnecting from my old habits, thoughts, my old patterns, right? Thought patterns, habits, disconnecting from all that. When I get in certain situations, I'm not reacting the way my anxiety would want me to. I'm reacting the opposite way now, which is my true self. And so, you know, with that though, you have to understand it's going to feel really uncomfortable. You kind of get in that gray area that I talked about in the last show. And that's kind of where I've been, kind of in that gray area, kind of in that just sometimes I still have my moments. I feel kind of uneasy, but I talked to my counselor I see yesterday, and him and I always have a great conversation. And we talked about this yesterday, and it's something I've been talking about for a while. Like I said, I hit on about the gray area last week, and but the one thing I've noticed, man, you always got to remember is, you know, your anxiety from your subconscious mind, from your inner child, it's not there to harm you. It's there to protect you. It's looking out for you. And what I mean by that is, your subconscious mind wants you to be happy, but it's going to choose safety over happy first because it feels like you can be happy, but you need to be safe first. But a lot of times that's a false alarm. That's, you know, let's say, for instance, you had a bad traumatic experience in an elevator one time, something that was traumatic to you in an elevator, right? So the next time you go try to get an elevator, how much it could be a long time after or shortly after or whatever. As soon as you step in that elevator, you start to feel a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic. Okay, I need to do something. Like I need to act. I need to run. I need to get out of this. I need to avoid. Your fight or flight kicks in. That's your body looking out for you because your body says, "Hey, last time we were here, it didn't go well. Should we? What should we do?" And that's what it's asking you for the guidance. And when I started to look at it like this, especially when I had my conversation with my counselor, and this is something I've known for a while. I've studied a lot of this, and been through it in different areas of my life, and so, um, but it is a very uneasy feeling. It's very uncomfortable because it's different, and so, but you have to come at it with a loving manner. It's almost like you're walking a dog, right? You ever see somebody walking the dog down the road, and the dog's on a leash. Imagine your anxiety as the dog, right? And you're just walking down like, come on, doggy, let's go. You know what I mean? You're just guiding it down the road, nice and easy, nice and slow. You're guiding it. You know what I mean? It's like that's how you view your anxiety. And it's like when at the time I played where I talk about the two screen method from Dr. Scott Symington. It's the same thing. You guide your mind back to the front screen. You always got to remember that side screen's going to be there. So you guide your mind back to the front screen and you do two things. You can do a loving act, which is pray for somebody, give someone a hug, uh, maybe help somebody wherever. Maybe you're at the store and you see an elderly person pushing their cart out. You take the cart for them and put it away. You know what I mean? Or just something like that. I'm just using that as an example. A loving act, helping somebody, helping your neighbor out. I don't know. And then mindfulness, which could be you anchor yourself. You maybe go for a bike ride, go for a walk. Maybe you meditate. Maybe you just start doing something productive around the house or at work, whatever it is, something to get your mind refocused on something else. You anchor yourself away from that side screen, away from the anxiety. And so, but a lot of times when you start doing this more and more, you feel like you feel kind of lost, like that gray area I talked about last week. You feel kind of like, who am I? Right? Because this is who you've been for so long, is this identity, this person of, this is how you've always reacted to things. These are the patterns that you've always done out of fear and anxiousness, but now you don't do that anymore because you realize you can't keep doing that and it's holding you back. But realize when you do that, you got to get to that neutral place first. Get to the neutral place and then you get to the pleasant, right? You can't, it's very hard to go from bad to pleasant. Got to go from bad to neutral, the middle ground, to pleasant. And so today, guys, I got another video for you. I think you guys enjoyed. It's another quick little 10-minute video from the anxiety guy, where he really breaks it down for you in a different way. Well, not say different way, in a more detailed way. And so, yeah, let's get right to it. Hope you guys enjoy. And so, I may stop this if I hear something to make a point. If not, I'm just going to keep playing it. So let's get right to it. Again, go subscribe to the Anxiety Guy. The video today is this happening to you during your anxiety healing? And if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to him. Just go subscribe to the Anxiety Guy. And you can also catch him on social media as well. Go follow him there. He gets right back to you if you ask him questions. He's great. Dennis is awesome. But anyways, let's get to the video.
And let's help each other. Warriors, today what I want to show you is something that occurs during the healing journey. When this occurs, many times we interpret it as being a bad thing. But I want you to look deep within yourself today and ask yourself if you are in fact experiencing what I'm about to talk about. And number two, are you interpreting it as being a bad thing when in fact it's a great thing? It's a fantastic thing. You know what this thing is? It's called disconnection. Disconnection, Dennis? Yeah, disconnection. It's part of the process towards becoming that new, empowered, unique, creative, divine you. Let's understand what disconnection really is. Disconnection comes with the feeling of becoming distant towards others. Distant towards others. There's a feeling of being alone. You may be walking down the street and you notice people around you, and it feels like you're watching them from a different perspective, a different angle. It's a little distance.
I just want to stop it real quick because that's a hell of a point there that what he said there. It's like it's almost like you see everything. You start to see things differently. You start to react to things differently. Everything you're doing is different. It's new, right? So it feels very uncomfortable, like he said. And I've been there, and it is a weird feeling at first. Anxiety can be when you're in, or excuse me, when you're in the healing journey, guys. When you start healing your anxiety, you start doing things. You're on the right path, and you're doing better. It's gonna be messy, and it's gonna feel weird, and you have to accept that. You have to realize, but you have to also realize, like I said earlier, it's not a harmful thing. It's not your anxiety can't kill you. The uneasy feeling, the uncomfortableness. That's all it is. Just an uneasy feeling. It's different. It ain't like anything you do in life that's new. It feels uncomfortable, but that's all it is. And so you have to slowly guide your way there, and you know, slow, step by step. Trust the process. Trust what you're doing. That's where the trust comes in, uh, especially spiritually. And so, I think that's a great point there. So let's get back to it.
There. You may be discussing things with people, but you feel like there are walls blocking you from them, really interpreting what they're saying and really being engaged in the conversation. There is disconnect. Now, let me help you understand what's taking place right now. There is what I call a regrouping process taking place. Regrouping. Your system right now is adjusting itself, and it's adjusting the external reality to fit with who you want to be.
I'm gonna rewind that and play that again. 'Cause that's it right there.
Regrouping. Your system right now is adjusting itself, and it's adjusting the external reality to fit with who you want to be.
No, I hope you caught that. And you can write that down. I'm gonna write it down for myself. By the way, the book on the screen, F Coping, Start Healing. I have that book. I recommend those. But he has three other, or excuse me, I think he has two other books. Yeah, that's the one, the second one, I believe. And so, but yeah, check out that book, guys. If you're looking for some good, something to read to help you with your healing. He has great books as well. Check them out. But anyways, back to the point he was making though. Uh, yeah, it's like a regrouping. I talked about the playoffs earlier, and the series is tied 1-1 right now. Who's going to make the best adjustments going into tonight for Game 3? That's probably the team that's going to win, right? They have to. You can't do the same thing you did that didn't work in the first two games. So your body, it's the same thing here. Your mind is regrouping. You're funneling out all the things that are not good for you. You don't need the fear, the anxiety, just the lie, the illusions in your head, all of it. You're funneling all that out. You're getting it out of you slowly, and you're just draining yourself out of that bad energy. But you're also rebuilding yourself. It's like when you tear down a house, you build up a new one. So it's the same thing here. You guys, please remember that because you keep that in mind. Again, it's like I've been saying. What I'm trying to say is, what's going on, so you don't run from it. You don't. What I mean? It's like I always say, you get in that cold lake of water. It feels different. It's new. It's but you stay in there, and over time, your body adapts to it. And before you know it, it doesn't bother you anymore. It's who you are now, and that's what it is.
So if you find yourself feeling distant from people, friends, acquaintances, family members, know that this is nothing more than a part of the transition that you're on. There will be people coming into your life, experiences coming into your life that are flowing in the same waves as you are currently flowing. Because when your emotional state shifts, so does your energetic body. So you are going to begin bringing into your experiences like minded people, like minded people. So, this is nothing more than a regrouping process. I assure you, embrace it. What else is disconnection? Disconnection is
I just want to stop real quick. I've said this before, just to remind you guys. Remember, when you're starting to heal and you're starting to become, do better, your mind, your spirit, your emotion, your body, physical. The body is always the last to catch up. Remember that. The body's always the last to catch up.
a feeling of emptiness. Like you've got this feeling of, I just feel empty on the inside. And when I say the word emptiness, many times people think that it's a negative thing. Warriors, this is a positive thing. This is a great thing. I like to refer to it as being positive emptiness. Positive emptiness means that currently there is a gray area within you that needs to be filled. A gray area that needs to be filled. Filled with the type of identity you want to become. Filled with the type of personalities you want to bring to your day. If you're feeling empty right now, understand that again, this is a part of the transition, moving away from what's been familiar, moving away from all the certainty and control and anxiety that you felt you consciously and unconsciously needed and was a part of you for so many years. You are moving. You are divorcing your anxiety and you are transitioning into someone new. So understand that positive emptiness is a good thing. You get to rebuild.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's why I talked about the last episode about the gray area, with, a lot of times people get in that gray area and they feel lost because they feel like, who am I? They feel like their identity's gone. And that's something I've learned recently in my own journey is especially like last year, you feel kind of like depressed almost. It's like it's not a bad like depressed, like you're angry or you're like down, but you get frustrated, but you're like depressed because who am I? You just feel kind of lost, like you said. And, but you have to realize is, and what I did for a while is I took that as a bad thing, and so I would still revert back to some old habits because I feel like, okay, they make me feel comfortable. I need to do this to stay safe. No, you revert away from those more and more. But understand that that feeling, like you said, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because you're becoming it's like a rebirth. It's becoming who you want to be, your true self, who you desire, who you deserve to be. And so you have to remember that. And also, you know, when you get those moments, when you have those feelings, just guide it back, guide your mind back to what's true, mindfulness, loving action. Remember the two screen method. And yeah, I mean, that's all it is, guys.
Beautiful. Beautiful. With disconnection also comes this feeling like we're moving further away from the physical world and we're becoming more curious about the energetic and spiritual world. I can't tell you how many questions I get each and every day about God. That interpretation is up to you, and as long as it serves and helps you, fantastic. But we find ourselves moving away from materialism and moving towards minimalism. You start to look around your house and go, I really don't need that. Or, man, I'm spending a lot of time on that. I could be spending more time on my self care, on my self love, self worth, self respect. I don't need these things. I don't need to hoard things anymore.
Oh, I could relate to that. With a lot of things, especially with health anxiety. Health anxiety, man, you really eat more than you need to eat. Uh, take more things like vitamins or just you really just overdo a lot. Like so with health anxiety, you overeat, you over drink, you can over just I'm just using health anxiety as an example. Basically, what he's saying is with anxiety, you usually overdo anything, right? And I've been there with my own health anxiety. I've done it with even just thinking. You just overthink. That's what it is. Overthinking everything. You just overdo everything. And when you start to slow down your mind, that's what it is. You start to slow down your mind and you start to really read facts and what's the truth and what you get fed up with what you're doing because there's been so much pain associated with that because it's just it's that's what anxiety is, like a suffering life. You just feel like you're always on guard, you know and when you start to slow down and let go of that, you start to realize what's true and what's not. You really do. You start to realize, you know what, I don't need to eat that much. I don't need, like you said, I don't need this shit in my house. I don't need all this stuff in my house. I don't need all this I don't need to do all these things I always thought I needed to do to help maintain my survival, or do things to help me feel secure, or do things to help me feel like I'm socially acceptable. Like anything. We all do things that we overdo, or we subject ourselves to things that we really don't need to do, but we do it for a reason because it makes us feel connected to something, like we're holding on to something. When in reality, a lot of times those things are just holding you back. They're just keeping you in that cycle of fear, of anxiety. You don't really need that. And so, another excellent point, guys. And like I said, I hope you're writing this down or go back and rewatch this because these are, yeah, we can't get no better than these points, guys.
And so when we move from being so attached to matter and this physical reality, and we move from that reality to a place of becoming more curious and in touch with energy and this spiritual world, you find that life will become more effortless. There's a sense of ease. There's a sense of deep underlying trust that you have for life and the ever unfolding and the changes that comes with life. What you need to do is you need to embrace the unknown. You need to welcome the uncertainties that you're currently feeling within this transition from who you were to who you want to be. My friends, the biggest challenge in anxiety recovery is resistance. You
Yeah. That's it right there. It's all it is. The resistance. But remember, like I said earlier, what is the resistance? The resistance is just your subconscious mind, your body looking out for you. It's trying to keep you safe. It's actually not trying to harm you or hurt you. It's trying to look out for you, like I said. And so when you understand what the resistance is, then it makes it a hell of a lot easier. It really starts to help slow you down more and more. So when you go throughout your day, or maybe you're going through a little couple days stint of, maybe you're going out of town, or you're a little uncomfortable flying, or maybe someone else in your house is going out of town, or whatever it is, whatever makes you, maybe you're going into a situation that usually you would fear, right? And so slowly going there, taking the baby steps, but also when you have those days, or even just throughout your regular day, when you have certain moments or situations that usually you would get anxious or react to in a negative way, you realize now what that resistance is, right? And with that, uh, you start to, like I've been saying, you start to rewire your mind. You start to refocus your mind back on something positive, what's true, and yes, it's going to feel weird and different, but like I said, it's going to be messy at first. And just know those feelings will pop up. They'll always pop up. Our fight or flight mechanism is something that's built into us. God gave us for a reason to help us. We're in certain situations. What if you're outside and, you know, it's to help protect us. That's what it is. Like I said, what if you're outside, a storm's coming and it starts raining like hell and thunder, and that's what your survival, like, okay, I need to get in the house. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's so it's always gonna be part of us. But know that we can make a healthy relationship with that part of us. And that's all it is, guys, making a healthy relationship with it. And so, uh, yeah, man, let's just get back to it. I could watch this video all day.
have the knowledge coming from here. You have the wisdom that you are attaining through meditations and reframing processes. The wisdom is coming. You know what to do. You know the behaviors that you need to act upon. But then there's a sense of resistance, and that resistance has nothing to do with the direction you want to go, and it has everything to do with trying to keep you in a place of familiarity, unease, and the addiction to suffering. Aren't you tired of suffering? Aren't you tired of drama? Aren't you tired of internal chaos? I know I was, and dissatisfaction was the greatest motivator that led me towards creating a plan that I could follow in order to heal myself. So let's understand disconnection more. Feeling disconnected from things only means that you'll be reconnecting with things you need to during this transition. If you currently feel disconnected from people, the physical reality, and you feel a sense of emptiness, my friends, embrace it, love it, and more than anything, as you did when you were a young child, explore it. Because as the days move on, you are going to be tested more and more. And I tell people this all the time. Don't think that anxiety recovery is such a linear path. As you move towards total transformation, this universe will test you moment by moment. You will be met with unexpected tests, and it's up to you to make use of those tests and to step up to those challenges and to enact exactly who you want to become in that moment. Don't allow certainty, control, and familiarity to suck you back into anxiety. You deserve more. You deserve better. And together, we will get you there. Understand that disconnection is a good thing. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you have any other questions on any of my programs, head on over here. And remember that you are always more than anxiety. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Shout out to Dennis again. Another great video. And yeah, man, I love what he said there at the end. You're always going to face challenges in this world, and you're always going to, you know, sometimes what God allows things to happen that we don't understand and we don't agree with, guys. And so that's just part of life. But it's how you respond to these things. How do you interpret these things? And what I mean by that is a lot of times the way you respond is how you interpreted certain situations in the past that you maybe deemed traumatic. You know, and so that's like you said in the video, you're rewiring your brain to respond to things differently, but you're becoming who you really want to be. It's like you said, it's how much I guess in like in sports terms, how bad do you want it? Are you fed up enough? Like, are you totally discontent or just fed up with what you've been doing, the life you've been living? And guys, we talked about anxiety. That video there was obviously a reference to anxiety, but it could be in anything in life. Maybe you have an addiction, maybe you have whatever. It's these kind of principles are similar to anything. It's getting to the root cause of things, what we talked about 2 weeks ago. Last week, okay, when you identify the root cause, you start to address things. Okay, now the next step is you start to disconnect yourself from those things and you start to feel uneasy. That's where it starts to really feel, like I said, a little like you lost your identity almost because you're becoming somebody new. You're becoming who you really want to be. And so, guys, that's all it is. And so, like for me, I talked about last summer. Um, Even I'd say last summer, just I'd say in my 6, 7 years, almost seven that I went through this, I had a lot of moments, guys, where up until about last summer when I feel like I had enough, like I really need to do something to really make change. And so, I had a lot of days where I was lonely by myself all day, just in the house by myself, just doing everything by myself. And I felt really isolated. And I felt really, I educated myself on anxiety. I knew what the symptoms were. I knew everything about, I had all the knowledge, but you can have all the knowledge in the world about it, but you still have to apply these things. You still have to, there's a difference between reading it and then doing it. And for me, I was still hesitant. I wanted to stay in my comfort zone still, but also, I was uh, still suppressing a lot of things. It wasn't as expressive as I am now. It's taken time for me to, up until this year, really, or about recently. Well, actually, not really till when I just, when I had a really bad panic attack in August. And it was kind of like rock bottom for me. And that's when I said, okay, you know what? So I got to just do what I got to do. I can't carry on the past that, I think about all the time, or the things that I wanted that I didn't get, or, why am I here? That's a lot of it, especially those days when you're lonely, you get in those moments, you're down, you have anxiety. Sometimes for me, it was my anxiety was really bad. I'm by myself and I just sit there and look out like, why? Like, why am I here? Why am I not going out living the life I want to live that everybody else goes out and lives? You know what I mean? And so, but with that though, I had to take the first step, and I got to the place where I said, okay, this isn't working. I have to change. And so the first step for me was right first week of September. That's when I started seeing my counselor. That was the first step for me, just to talk to somebody. And then it started to, slow me down a lot more. I started to slow things around me a lot more, excuse me, because I was becoming more expressive with my own family, and so that helped. And then over time, it's grown more and more. And then, at the end of March, I had another week where it was a challenging week. I was in a certain situation that really challenged me that whole week, and yeah, I got to Monday. I was having anxiety. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I got to Thursday. And by Thursday, I just had enough. I just had a bad full blown panic attack. Um, and so I had to regroup. I had to reset. And luckily that day I had an appointment with my counselor, and we sat and talked about it. And I was thinking about doing the show for a while, and I didn't really have a plan for the podcast. People would ask me about it for like a year. I would say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast." Like, "Oh, when's it coming out?" I'm like, "I'm working on it. I'm working on it." Like, guys, I was never working on a podcast. Okay, I would just, I mean, I had an idea and I watched a lot, but I was never working on nothing. I didn't have a name, a concept. I didn't have shit. So, uh, yeah. So it's like people would always ask me, "Hey, when's it coming out?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm working on it. Don't worry. 6 months. Don't worry. A couple weeks." But I was never working on it. Okay, but I got to a point where I got low again. You had a bad day. And remember I was speaking to my counselor that day. That's when he introduced me to the two screen method and just another tool. And then I said, you know what? Here I am again. I'm at the, I'm at a lower point. Just had a bad panic attack today. The only way I can go from here is up. And so but I just said, I got to be more. I got to do more. Like, I got to push myself more. And that's what I did. And, privately, I was a little more expressive, but guys, publicly, I wasn't. I was still hiding a lot of things. And, like I said, I also felt like God was needed me to do this, to share a message. And so, um, I got to a low point, and then 2 days later, that Saturday is when I did my first episode. And I've explained that before too, what made me do that. I didn't wake up that Saturday planning on doing that day either. I went out that morning. I was still a little just kind of down from the week. I don't say down, but just, a little tired, just a little on guard. And I went out that morning. I remember driving around. I just saw certain things. I remember I saw a homeless person. That's why I saw a homeless person who was just sitting there on the corner. And I remember sitting there looking at him like, this guy probably didn't sleep. All right, probably doesn't sleep at all. Doesn't have a place to sleep. Doesn't have any money. Nothing. Just that's his life, is sitting right there on a crate on the side of the highway. That's his life. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? I'm not waiting anymore. And that's when I went home and I planned it out and I said, you know what, today's the day. And I hopped up on the mic and it was, like I said, it was hard and it wasn't easy to do, but I did it. And that really jump started everything for me because I remember when I recorded that, I put it out that night at 9 o'clock. I remember when I hit send, all the way up until I hit the send button or the upload button, excuse me. I was still hesitant. I'm like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And I hit upload, and I said, okay, I just did it, and I just turned the computer off. And I remember I went and took a shower. I went and took a shower, get ready for dinner, and I remember I didn't even look at my phone. I said, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm gonna put it out there and just leave it be. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever it is. And so when I did that, I remember I was in the shower. I'm thinking, okay, I feel a lot better now because hey, I just did something. But I was still kind of like, okay, what's the reaction going to be? And guys, as soon as I got out of the shower, I mean, as soon as I walked back to, got out of the shower, went in the hallway, immediately my phone started just going off. My dad's got people calling him. He's come upstairs like, you can't believe he just called me and said they have anxiety. I'm like, it was just a whirlwind. It was just unbelievable. And that next day was just like, wow. Like it was just a surreal feeling, but it was just like an accomplishing feeling. It was, uh, man, that feeling was just unreal the next day. It was just like on cloud nine. It's so, but it was good though, because I feel like I finally took the step I needed to take, a big step. And that was a massive step I took that day. And so, but what my explaining all this is, you know, that 48 hours before I made that video, guys, I was having a bad panic attack and didn't know what to do. 48 hours later, or really 72 hours later, going to Sunday, I'm in a whole nother one. I'm in a 180. I'm in a whole different world. I'm in a world of just happiness, joyous, like, and it just shows you how fast things can change. And that's why I always say you're never as far away as you think. And so, uh, with all that though, guys, it's when you're going to that transition, like he said, you know, it can happen quick, it can happen a little longer, but a lot of times it's kind of up to you and kind of what you're doing. It doesn't mean you're going to go bungee jumping, excuse me, or go jump out of a plane on day one. Okay. But you take baby steps, and you take bigger steps before you know it, you get to that end goal. And that's what it is. It's a process. So it's like you said, it's a transition. So just remember, guys, when you get to that neutral gray area, like he says, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel different, but you got to take that last step because that last, you got to honestly take the last step, but you got to just stick with it. You can't, don't cave into it. Just know that you're on the right path and have that trust in what you're doing. That's all it is. It's the trust. And so there is a tool, guys, I want to leave you guys with. It's a tool that I use for breathing because I feel like a lot of times when you're in those moments when your mind wants you to wander off into something negative, you got to redirect your mind back to the beginning, right? I talk about mindfulness. And I think a good initial tool you can use is called color breathing. And what color breathing is so like for me, what's your safety color? So my safety color is light blue, well, like a lightish blue with white, basically the color of the or color. I don't know what I'm saying. Color of the sky. Because when I look up at the sky, it reminds me of God. It reminds me of heaven, right? The clear blue sky. So that would be that would be my safety color. And so, and then my color of fear is like a reddish orange. Because a lot of times when I had panic attacks, it was in the middle of the summer, it was hot out, and the sun was blurring in my eyes, and that's the color I saw when I would have bad panic attacks, like a reddish orange almost, right? So that would be my color of fear. And then I would say, okay, what part of your body are you holding that fear in? So for me, it's like in my gut area. That's where I get a lot of my nerves. That's for a lot of people who hold. That's where they store the fear, the initial feeling they get, wherever that is. For me, it's like it's my gut area. So I would close my eyes and I would imagine, right? Imagine that reddish orange color right there, down there. And as I inhale the color of safety. And so it's like a through the nose, and I envision the color going down to that area and pushing out the fear color, right? So it'd be like this. and I'm breathing out on the exhale. I'm breathing out the fear color, and it's called color breathing. And guys, that's a really good tool to use to help slow down your mind, but also slowly help redirect your mind back to what you need to focus on. What's true, your true self. Okay, I'm okay. I know what this is, the resistance. I'm okay. Just a moment. I'll be fine. You know what I mean? And you just do that. And then you can take the next steps. Maybe you call somebody that makes you laugh or pray or go for whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Whatever makes you continue off of that, start to build momentum. And so um, I want to share that tool with you guys. Color breathing. Try that out sometime. It really helps me out a lot. I do it all the time. I even heard Dennis in some videos recently. He said I tell people to do it 50 times a day at least because it takes a lot of repetition. That's what this is. It's repetition, constant repetition to retraining your mind, rewiring your mind. And so, uh, yeah, guys, that's I wanted to share with you guys today. That's kind of what I've been going through. I know that's what a lot of people go through in different phases of life. Like I said, it doesn't have to be just anxiety. It could be anything you're going through, an addiction, a habit, just maybe you're just down, whatever it is. That's what this podcast is. It's the real, it's just real life things with you guys to share, and hopefully you guys can relate to it. You know, yeah, man, that's all I got for today. And like I said, I can't wait to watch that game tonight. But I want to start doing the live streams again, guys. I'm gonna do the live stream. I think I'm gonna do those on the weekends from now on. I think that'd be a lot better because I know a lot of people wanted to tune in and come up on the panel, but they weren't able to because they were at work. The times I did them, which I understand, I did them at 4 or 5 o'clock. But that was the time I could do it around then. But now I think my tentative schedule is I like to do a recorded podcast in the middle of the week, like a Wednesday, and then maybe, like I said, I want to start doing the lives on the weekends, like a Sunday or something. So you guys let me know what you think, and we'll figure it out. And yeah, man, just take it one day at a time. But hope you guys enjoyed the message today. But before you click off, don't you dare click off yet. Like I said, I'm gonna leave you with another Tony Evans video, and this video today really goes with what we were talking about. And so, hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna play this video real quick before we get out of here. So you better not click off. You better watch this video real quick because this is gonna fire you up too. Tony gets real fired up right here. I love it. Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to get this on the screen. Get this on the screen. Where is it? Here we go. All right, guys. Here we go.
Now, in 1 Samuel, we have this phrase because Israel was in a crisis. His name was Goliath. Goliath is a problem too big for you to handle. By the way, whenever you have a problem that's too big for you to handle, call it Goliath, because then you know how things are going to wind up. David says, the battle is not yours. The battle is the Lord's. Okay. In football, the quarterback receives the ball. And the quarterback receives the ball, and so the other team is coming in to tackle him. They're coming in to destroy him because he has the ball. When he takes the ball, he's also invited a problem because there are 11 other men who want to do something about the fact he has that ball. They don't want him to have that ball, and they want him on the ground. And they are doing everything they can to get him on the ground. The quarterback takes the ball, and then he hands it off to the halfback. The halfback then takes the ball, and he runs with it. An amazing thing happens. Everybody that was after the quarterback changes. Everybody was after the quarterback, but now that they done handed this baby off, they now shift from the quarterback. And now they're all after the halfback because the quarterback has handed the problem off. So now the problem is in somebody else's hands, and all the enemy got to deal with the somebody else because he has the ball. The reason why all of us are running all the time is we keep the ball. I got this problem. I can't do anything about this. this problem. This is my problem. God is saying, hand the ball off, hand the ball off, hand the ball off. We say, no, I got the ball. I was born with this ball. I was raised with this ball. I'm going to have this ball for the rest of my life. God is saying, hand the ball off, you dummy. And if we would hand the ball off and let God take it, the battle is not ours, it's the Lord's. It's the Lord's. He calls on God because he said, I got to hand this off. I can't handle this financial crisis in Washington. I'm going to hand it off. I don't know how I'm going to handle this personal problem. I'm going to hand it off, and I'm going to make the battle not be mine. Okay, look, we run out of time, but look.
Woo! Man, Tony really fires me up, guys. Yeah, I love what he said there. Hand the ball off to God. You know, our battle is his battle. He wants to fight it for us. And so, you know, that's something, guys, to remember too when you're going through this transition, guys. Remember that. Most importantly, spiritually, hand the ball off to God, and he'll guide you, he'll take care of you. And I know I could attest to that, and I know a lot of people can. Doesn't mean it's always easy. And sometimes God allows things, like I said, that we don't agree with, or we don't like. But it's part of his will. He knows what's best for us. He has a greater plan and vision in mind than we can see right now. And so, yeah, guys, like I said, or like Tony said, excuse me, hand the ball off and just, you know, leave it all up to him. Leave it in his hands. That's the ultimate, you know, faith is the things not seen. You know, that's the ultimate test of your faith. And so that's really all this is, guys. At the end of the day, it's a spiritual battle. Always remember that. You're going through a spiritual battle. And so, especially the times we're in. So just stay true, stay the course, guys. Stay the course, trust, and have patience and belief, but most importantly, connect more with your spirit more than anything, because that's going to really take you where you want to go. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. And so, appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Hope you guys enjoyed this message today, and see you guys in the next one.